Give me 1 sec. And we are live. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Pete Nathan podcast. I have two guests right here with me, and the Eagles are going into a wild card matchup with the Packers, the same team that we played when we started the season. So I got two boys from NFL Masala, Anand and Rakshak. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having us, Pete. Thank you for letting an enemy personnel come into your podcast, invade your podcast. Hopefully, I'll leave it, safe and sound when I head back to my podcast. Unlike Eagles fans, whenever they come to opposing team stadiums. So, yeah, I'm excited.
All right. I got some questions for y'all. Rakshak, welcome, man.
Well, it's been a long time, Pete, but as I like to say here, Namaskar, Raksha from the NFL Masala podcast. Thank you, Pete, for always inviting me to talk about the only thing that matters in the world right now, which can sanctify everything. That is Eagles football. And I mean, and of course, it's been a while, but damn, the Edible Masala podcast is officially here with you.
Let's go.
The crossover that everyone else was waiting for. This is the ultimate crossover. Fourth and John, not my cup of tea. I'm joking.
So with that said, like Andy Reid likes to start off injuries. So Anna, go with your injuries for the Packers, and Rakshak, you can go ahead with the Eagles injuries.
Yeah. So in terms of injuries for the Packers, there's one big key one. And unfortunately, he suffered a torn ACL on his opposite knee, so I think his right knee. And that is Christian Watson, our main deep threat, wide receiver, number one, effectively, for the Packers. He is out for the rest of the season, and most likely this is more of an off-season question. It could put his start to his 2025 season in jeopardy as well. So it's a typical ACL tear injury is 9 to 12 months of recovery. But it also turns out that there were some reports that he had injured other ligaments other than his ACL as well in the same knee.
Okay.
So it seems like it's a long road to recovery. And it's really unfortunate because I'm going to get into this in a little bit later. But Christian Watson was trending to have his healthiest season on record for the Packers. And he's an integral portion of our offense. It's almost as if you take out A.J. Brown from the Eagles offense and you miss out like half of your offense, right?
Right.
So he's that critical to us. And it doesn't seem like it to outsiders, but Packers fans, good Packers fans, the ones who don't hate Christian Watson, really, truly will miss his presence in the offense. So that is a key injury. Another injury is Zane Anderson, who is our backup strong safety. He is also recovering from a concussion. The latest practice report showed that he was, I believe, did not practice. And then you also had Quay Walker, who was limited practice. He's coming off of an ankle injury. He's a critical linebacker for us, much like Nakobe Dean is for you guys.
Yep.
And then you have Evan Williams. So this is really good injury news for us. Evan Williams, who is the starting strong safety for us. And according to some metrics, especially PFF, they had him graded as like the fifth best safety in the NFL for several weeks in a row.
Is Evan Williams is a rookie, right?
He's a fourth-round rookie.
Fourth-round rookie.
So he has been and I'll say this, he did not play a single snap against the Eagles week 1. He and Xavier McKinney have really transformed the safety tandem and has allowed the Packers to become one of the best safety tandems, if not the best safety tandem in the league. So him coming back is a huge boon for us. We sorely missed him, especially in the last 2 games. Having Javon Bullard come in as a strong safety did not work out, especially against the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
So him coming back is a big injury. Big good news. Jordan Love obviously had a stinger. It turns out it beginning of the injury scare, it was, we thought he had sincerely, like, we thought it seriously messed up his throwing hand.
Right.
Turns out it was more of his elbow. He had hit his throwing elbow on a helmet, and that caused a stinger. So he's
The
coming
funny
back.
bone.
He feels,
Yep.
yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So he feels no numbness. He was a full participant in today's practice. So that is really, really good news. He's coming back to 100% health. So turns out a lot of people are coming back to 100% health. Even TJ Slayton, who I'm going to get into in a little bit, is trending to become a main starter for us as well on Sunday. He's a critical component in our run defense. So yeah, things are looking good, but Christian Watson not playing on
Not
Sunday
playing.
for obvious reasons. Zane Anderson
Right.
doesn't seem that he's going to be playing for us as well. He's a really good special teams player, and as
Okay.
I also said, a really good strong safety. So yeah,
All right.
so far that's our injury news.
And then obviously Jair Alexander too, right?
Oh
Like
yeah, yes. How can I forget?
yeah,
Jair Alexander, CB1, one of the
CB1.
best corners when healthy,
Right.
especially in terms of man-to-man island corner. Yeah, he's been on IR for the past couple of weeks, so he's going to miss the entirety of the playoffs. Well, or at least this game. We'll see about the entirety of the playoffs, but it was a PCL tear, unfortunately for him. So he was
Right.
dealing with that. He tried to rehab it, which is why they hadn't put him on IR for
Mm-hmm.
4 weeks because they thought that he could rehab and get right back to it.
Right.
But unfortunately, he couldn't. So he's out for the rest of the season,
Okay.
at least for now. We'll see later.
Rashad?
Yeah, definitely very important news from the Packers side. Now, on the Eagles side, especially with the latest injury report on Thursday, those that were in full participation, tight end Grant Calcaterra, N'Kobe Dean, Dallas Goddard. Thankfully, Goddard was back by week 18, and he was able to shake off some rust after some performance by Tanner McKee against the Giants.
Right.
Dot 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 against the Giants. Just have
Yeah.
to emphasize that. But
Right.
also with that, Bryce Huff and Byron Young,
Yeah.
but the biggest one is Jalen Hurts. Yes, to any of those fake ass pundits trying to say, "Oh my God, what are you going to do without Jalen Hurts?" Well, guess what? He's practicing. He had full participation.
That's
Of
right.
course, dealing with
QB1
that.
is back.
QB1 is back. After all, he had to take. After all, he was in concussion protocol, and apparently, we found out later on he had a broken left finger. So,
Now we
but
knew about that. We knew about that a couple of weeks ago. A few
yeah,
weeks back.
no, but like for those that are just discovering, like, oh, he
Oh,
has a left finger, then it's like, yeah,
right.
yes, he has a
On his
broken
non-throwing hand.
Non-throwing
on
finger. Non-throwing
on his
finger.
Uh,
non-throwing
Yes.
finger. So, but yeah,
no,
but with this, we did. I was able to see some videos. Thank you to Jeff McClain and any other Eagles insider that was actually at the link,
Mm-hmm.
showing up, and he was running some drills and some throws. So I thought it was good. Limited participation. Will Shipley with an ankle. I don't think he's going to get that
Okay.
much snaps. Kenny Pickett dealing with broken rib, dealing with the ribs after Micah Parsons' dirty hits and him being such a whining bitch. Then, of course, offensive tackle Lane Johnson. Of course, he needs a rest. That we definitely need our best right tackle, who has
Right.
yet to allow a sack this season so far. And then, of course, backup offensive lineman Jack Driscoll. Definitely want to have for depth pieces, but it's fine. But then they did not participate. This one kind of alarmed me a bit. Other than my boy Trevor Keegan, the draft pick from Michigan, and I've always said this from the Soup Boys. Did you know that Trevor Keegan has allowed 0 sacks when he was in Michigan? Um, but mostly as a developmental piece. But the biggest news is AJ Brown, Swole Batman. What happened yesterday? It was reported that he was limited in practice with a knee injury, and with some new designation on his knee. Not good. Then I get news that, oh my God, he did not practice at all today. And I think the goal is for him to be ready to rest him so that by Sunday he's
Mm-hmm.
ready to go. But I mean that's what Jeff McClain has reported. But then again, it brings upon like every dooms like any Eagles fans are like doom saying and all that's like, oh my God, we're so gonna be screwed. They're without Christian Watson, we're without AJ Brown. It's like, guys, it'll be fine. AJ Brown will be back, but most likely they're just checking to see what it is, and I hope it's not that major. That's all there is. And it could be because of some bad hip tackles that we've seen.
right?
Steelers.
Nobody has called, and this is, I think, an indictment on the NFL, right? I don't think I've ever seen a single hip drop tackle penalty being called the entire
Right.
season. But we've seen numerous examples of
Yeah.
that's happening.
Yeah.
You
But
know when they're gonna call that? You know when they're gonna call that? When you play
Our
the
game.
Kansas City Chiefs,
oh yeah.
and
Um,
they're gonna call the team that does it against them. That's when they're
And
gonna call that.
and
They're
in the
speaking
saving
of
Super
that.
Bowl.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and before I move on with this, Anand, just I know this is a spoiler for tomorrow's NFL Masala recording, but guess what? I am laying the Ruckshuk curse on you, the Kansas City Chiefs. You
Yeah.
will not make it to the AFC Championship game. Mark my words.
Let's see if that works.
Let's
So with
see.
that said,
Anand,
thank you guys
tell the
for
truth about that soon.
so thank you all for
I'm sure
covering the
DPH has a
injuries.
word to say.
Yeah, all
I
good.
got you, Dakshak. I got you.
So with that said, thanks for covering the injuries, guys. So as we look at this game, you know, last time these two teams met, the score was 34-29, right?
Mhm.
In Brazil, first game of the season. No one knows what's going to happen in the first game of the season. As the season progressed, I think Green Bay did have some injuries they had to battle through, especially with Jordan Love in the first game. Jalen Carter, you know, being Jalen Carter, twisting him a little bit. But, you know, that's
Dirty.
part of the game. It's called injuries, right? So
Mhm.
it happens. But y'all did win with Malik Willis. And, you know, you ride the ship. And, you know, you ended up in 10-7. And you're in the seventh seed,
11 and 6.
right? So my question to both of y'all, I don't know if you can go first, right? From the previous game matchup in Brazil, right? How would that predict the outcome of this game? And you can also say like watch the Eagles.
Mhm.
They weren't as good of a defensive team when they first started, right? Like if the Eagles gave up like those 14 points in the first quarter, Eagles probably lose that game in Brazil, right? Like the defense was good enough to hold them to 6, right? And then we found a way to win that game. Saquon had 3 touchdowns. AJ Brown had a touchdown, whatnot. But how would that impact this game? Like I know the Packers have got better, the Eagles have got better. So what's your reasoning?
Yeah, excellent question. And I think a lot of people are going to be looking back at that previous matchup in Brazil. But I will say about 60%, I would say it does predict this outcome.
Okay.
Some of it is going to be how close the game actually was. Now, obviously, that field was absolutely atrocious and led to some critical injuries for a lot of different people. And both teams had to suffer for that. And now I know that the Eagles are also replacing the existing turf that the link has and is adding new sod, like
Right.
actual grass sod,
Yeah.
to the field right before a playoff
Yeah.
game during 15-degree weather in January,
Yeah.
I don't think that's the smartest idea. So I think that's going to have a significant impact, and that's just a late development, right? That's not something that was predetermined. That was a late development, and I think I don't know why they would want to do that, because if it rains, God forbid, it's going to make everything slippery. It's going to make everything a chaotic experience for players, and that's the key thing, right? You don't want to see, knock on wood, Saquon Barkley get injured, right? Especially
Right.
if the Eagles win, you're gonna be without your MVP this year. You're gonna be
Right.
without your MVP if anything happens to him on that stupid field. So I don't know why they changed it, but I think that's gonna be a big contributor, and that's just a recent thing.
I think
Yeah,
that's the first time I've never heard of them changing the sod in Link.
I,
Like this is
I
like the first time I've heard this.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious by it. It's like, why are you changing this at the last minute?
Right.
And the thing is, like, the link. there's been no significant injuries at the link so far. You should have kept it as it is, but I
Right.
don't know if it's because of the up because I'm getting report because I live in the Northeast. There are like some reports like, oh my God, Philly, it's going to be snowing heavily in Philadelphia, and like, oh my God, like maybe that's what they're doing to like replace the craft. Well, if you had thought about that, maybe you should have put like covered it with a mat or something like that. I mean, that's where I kind of find it to be like, if this is going to happen, I'd rather have both teams get a feel of it first. Hell, the Packers should have been here when this happened, and maybe we could have like at least tested out the field. Okay, this is both teams have don't have an upper hand. If I want to beat a team, I'd
Disadvantage
rather
for us.
beat them fair and I want to try and beat them fair and square, eye for an
Mhm.
eye. That's what it is.
Yeah, so that's a critical thing. But going back to your point, I think in terms of play style, schematics, players, I think about 60% is going to matter because of offensive play styles.
Right.
And I think this is something that we saw in the first matchup as well.
Hmm.
Both teams, because of Saquon Barkley, our offensive lines, the quarterbacks that we have, Josh
Right.
Jacobs on our end, Saquon Barkley on your end, both are run heavy, play action pass offenses, right? If you
Hmm.
boil it down into simplistic terms,
Yep.
obviously those offenses are very complicated, and the way that they run, the way that each team runs is very different. But both when you look at it are run heavy, play action pass offenses. Now, funnily enough, if you look at the quarterbacks with the QBR in terms of play action passing,
Hmm.
both Jalen Hurts and Jordan Love are tied second best in the league at 82 QBR.
Wow.
However,
Yep.
I will say Love has had the much tougher ride than Jalen Hurts to get to that level of efficiency in play action passing because A, he missed 2.5 games. B, he has the far worse supporting cast around him. And you can agree to that because I'd much rather take A.J. Brown, a top
Hmm.
5 receiver, and Devontae Smith, a top 25 receiver, Saquon Barkley, the number one running back in the league, your offensive line over the the second worst wide receiving core in terms of drop percentage, which is
I might have to
roughly
stop you just
7.7.
right there, because you know what? Like, you guys have 4 or 5 weapons, right? Not
Sure.
to mention you have
If
an
they catch the ball,
offensive minded head coach who
But
sure.
Kyle
came
And you
from the
got
Shanahan,
Kyle,
Kellen Moore,
Kyle
who's a top
Shanahan
10
tree,
offensive
and he
coordinator.
knows how to draw plays, right? Yes, the only disadvantage you guys have is the new defensive coordinator, right?
That's not our
whoa,
I'm
whoa,
sorry,
okay,
but that's
Pete,
not
Right?
our
Like,
only disadvantage.
I
Our
because
disadvantage is
you
wide
guys
receiver
got
drop.
Josh Jacobs, you got
Sure.
Jaden Reed,
You
you got
have
like these
Saquon
guys might be
Barkley.
just guys, but you got Jordan Love passing the ball too,
okay,
right?
wait,
I'm not
Pete.
saying we're bereft of talent. I'm just saying you guys have better talent.
Yeah, but let
Okay,
me like
I think we have better talent, but I think we don't have the coaching staff that sometimes you guys might have in a head
I
coach.
agree with you. I agree with you that Matt LaFleur is a better offensive coordinator and designer than Kellen Moore. But let me tell you, if you adjust Jordan Love's completion percentage with the amount of drops that our young wide receivers have had, mind you, we also don't have Christian Watson now. So that's like you guys losing AJ Brown.
It's not the same.
That's the level. No, 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 no. For us, in terms of offensive efficiency, I'm not saying they're the same player. I'm saying the effect that it has on our offense. If
I
you're going
was
to lose AJ Brown,
I disagree with you though, because here's why. Because you have a Romeo Dobbs, you have a Dontavian Wicks, you have a
okay.
Tucker
So
Craft,
so
right?
let me
And you
ask you this
have
question.
what's his
Luke
name,
Musgrave, you have Jaden Reed, and plus
Jaden
you have
Reed.
Josh Jacobs, and just to add on with what Pete says, Matt Lafleur can do so many different things, even with four basic guys and two great tight ends. He can literally create. He can literally say, "Oh, here's what we're gonna do to confuse the hell out of your defense. We're gonna run misdirection here, misdirection there. And that's what I think. Like Matt LaFleur has that advantage over Kellen Moore and hell, even Nick Sirianni as well. That's why
Okay.
I think
So
that's what I'll
no,
say.
so I agree with you. But let me ask you this question.
Okay.
Are you taking Romeo Dobbs over Devontae Smith?
No, you're not.
No.
Are you
But
taking Jaden
Romeo
Reed over
Dobbs is a
Devontae
pretty
Smith?
good receiver if you have a
Are
quarterback
you
that
taking
throws the
Jaden
ball a
Reed?
lot more.
I know that. I know that. But the
It
fact of the matter is, come playoff time,
right,
the team that makes the fewer mistakes wins. You got to agree with me
which is
on that.
true. Which
Right.
is true.
Now, look at the statistics. I'm not saying this from film study or me being a homer. You just look at the statistics. A.J. Brown is the best receiver. He has not dropped a single ball. This year, he has not dropped a single ball. The Packers have 4 receivers in the top 25 receivers who drop balls. The third worst, the
Wow.
seventh worst, the 22nd worst, and the 25th worst. One of
Okay.
whom, the 25th, is our tight end, Tucker Kraft. Luke Musgrave doesn't even show up on the stat sheet because he played like 3 games this entire year. So
Hmm.
yes, I will say that our wide receiver core, our receiving core as a whole has depth, but
Okay.
talent when it comes to making critical plays, your
Okay.
talent beats our talent.
Okay.
Making critical plays because, and I'm going to talk about this in tomorrow's NFL Masala game.
Right.
Okay.
The Bears game, we lost because of 3 mistakes. A drop on third down, which prevented us from scoring,
Right.
a critical misalignment penalty by Dontavian Wicks, who, by the way, is the second worst wide receiver when it comes to drops. He has the second most drops the entire league this year.
Hmm.
Ooh.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is I'm not discounting the fact that Matt LaFleur is an elite offensive coordinator. Of
Right.
course, I see the amount of talent that he has in terms of play design. I've said this before and I'll say
Right.
it again. He's a top 5 offensive play designer. But the fact of the matter is you guys have more playmakers who do not make mistakes on critical downs. I'm not saying that they're bereft of making mistakes, but they
Hmm.
don't make as many mistakes.
Okay.
Okay. I'll
That's
give you
what
I
that.
I'm
can see that. Yeah.
So
I'll give you
that's
that.
why I'm saying that Jordan Love has had a tougher ride because he has had to deal with injuries. He's had
Right.
to deal with the worst of the two receiving cores, the supporting cast.
Okay.
And I'm also going to say you guys have the better offensive line. I mean, you just look at
That's true.
the amount of
I'll
Pro
give.
Bowlers
Yeah.
and All Pros that you guys have.
Right.
A
Right.
far
I mean,
better
we got the
offensive
best
line.
offensive line, like almost in the league, right?
Oh,
I don't
Exactly.
think there's anybody better
So
than us.
that's what
Like,
I'm saying in
right.
terms of worst supporting cast. And that's what
Okay.
people don't understand. Even with all of that, Jordan Love is tied second with play action passing. Now, like you mentioned, the key differences are going to be both of our defenses because both have players who are not playing in the first matchup. So in our case, it's Evan Williams, our starting strong safety,
Hmm.
and Edgerrin Cooper. Edgerrin Cooper, who is
oh,
now the NFL Rookie Defensive Player of the Month for the months of December and January.
Right.
He is also, I saw this crazy stat. He is the only linebacker
Mm.
to have 10 plus tackles and 4 plus tackles for loss since Micah Parsons in a single game.
Oh wow. Okay. I
yeah.
So
mean, I like
even
Benjamin
though
Cooper coming out of the draft, man. I wanted us
that's
to
what
draft him,
yeah,
but
I
we
know.
drafted Cooper DeJean. So
We
yeah.
moved
And
up.
I'm going to get to that.
Yeah.
So he played only 11 snaps. Evan Williams played 0 snaps. He played
Yeah.
only 11 snaps. And Edgerrin Cooper has quickly taken over the starting linebacking position and
Right.
looks to be like the next Fred Warner. Like that's how impactful
Right.
he's been from our defensive perspective. The amount of plays that he can make, he's like Zach Bond for you guys. Like if you take
Right.
Zach Bond away from the middle of the field, that
Yeah.
opens up half the field for the opposing passing
Yeah.
quarterbacks, right? And I saw the stat. Zach Bond, I think last year you guys had 73% completion percentage over the middle of the field. With
Right.
Zach Bond and Kobe Dean, that has fell down to 59%.
Right. Right.
And
So Zach Bond is a key player, just
Yeah.
like Edgerrin Cooper is for us. And for you guys, Cooper DeJean. Cooper DeJean did not play in week 1. I think he only
He
played like
didn't. He
a
didn't
couple
play till
snaps.
no,
week 5. Yeah.
he was. Yeah.
Exactly. So
I
Yeah.
think like when he was activated for the for like that Bengals game, only then did we realize, hey, we can replace him. We can replace that old broken Avante Maddox
Right.
for Cooper DeJean, and it's
exactly.
it's done wonders.
Exactly. And now the key thing for us on defense is going to be without Jair. That's going to make or break it for us. And that's why I said 60%, because 40% is going to be all the changes on defense,
Hmm.
60% in terms of offenses. But yeah, sorry for the long-winded ramble, but that was
It's
my
all
answer
good,
to
man.
that question.
Yeah. So Rakshak, what's changed? What's the predicting outcome of this game compared to the Brazil one?
So compared to Brazil, again, I think Anand literally hit the nail on everything that I was like trying to relate to. But you know what? He said it the best. It's all going to be based on the game planning and especially with talent. Which talent comes up first? And besides, we both have a fair advantage. We're not playing in freaking Brazil anymore. That's for
Right.
sure.
Well, we don't know. now with
Knock
that
on
new
wood.
field,
Knock
knock
on
That
on
wood.
wood
wood. Yeah.
field, we don't know.
Knock on wood.
It
Yeah.
might not be an advantage. So with
But
that said,
I
I
think
would.
like
Yeah,
but
go
I
ahead.
think like how things will change differently is because
Hmm.
since then like as Anand mentioned before, the Packers' run defense is to not be is to not be like is to not be taken lightly.
Thank you.
I'll just say it. They're not supposed to be taken lightly. And I'll
Okay.
say this: their run defense, they're seventh ranked in DVOA. They've only allowed 99.4 yards allowed per game. And this is a stat, and I'm again credit to Jamie Kempsky of Philly Voice.
Right.
Prior, so like from week 12 and from since week 12, the
Hmm.
Packers have allowed 70.4 rushing yards per game. Prior to week 12, they were only allowing like almost like 120. And plus, when you have a guy like you mentioned, you have a guy like Edrin Cooper, or I'm just gonna call him Edge Cooper because I can't say the full name.
Yeah.
If I see if I see the edge man over there and one of the sides, one thing I know from his stats at Texas A&M, he's a great QB spy, and he's one of those guys that can definitely stop the run. I've
Right.
seen his tape, and yes, Barkley may have the protection up
Hmm.
front, but those linebacking core is to not be underestimated. And
Yep.
also last game, I did realize, and this is one thing that's always frustrated me. Why are we not targeting the middle of the field and use more of Dallas Goddard and Grant Calcaterra? We did not do that at the last matchup because most of the targets have been to either A, Saquon Barkley, B, Devontae Smith, C, AJ Brown,
Hmm.
and fill in the rest of the blanks like right there. And I think that could, and of course, and I think also learning a new Vic Fangio scheme. Some of the Eagles players were sometimes out of position.
Hmm.
Packers were able to burn through the safeties,
Right.
and apparently arm tackling is still a thing. Dumbasses learn to tackle with both hands. That's what frustrates me. But I think like these are I think Anand said it beautifully on his first part, and I'm just saying like some of it's been changed here for the Eagles.
Okay. With
A lot
that,
of
I'm
things,
gonna go to the second question. Okay. So which opposing team concerns you the most heading into this wild card game? Like which player from the opposing team? Like I guess you covered Edge Cooper. Like
yeah.
on offense, let's go with you, Rakshak. Like on offense, from the Packers, right? We know Love got a little injury, but we still know he can swing that ball, right?
Well,
And and this there's some playmakers on that team, and I think last time we played them, I think Jacobs had like 84 yards, right, rushing. So who concerns you the most from the Packers offense?
I mean, the easiest answer would be Josh Jacobs, but
Okay.
I will say differently. It's not Josh Jacobs. I mean, Josh Jacobs is part A of the problem. Part B is going to be Tucker Kraft because I have yet to see this Eagles
Yeah, I can.
secondary and the linebacking core go up against great tight ends. And knowing that, like, yes, we're gonna put Cooper DeJean in the slot corner. This is where my concern is. Packers are gonna be like, oh, we got the skinny guy over there. Guess what? We're gonna try and put in Musgrave on one side. Hell, we can get Tucker Kraft on the other. Attack the middle of the field. Crossers, reps, misdirections. anything that you could put that you could draw out of a Kyle Shanahan type of playbook, Tucker Kraft is going to exploit this Eagles secondary. If they, especially that zone defense, and for the love of God, Vic Fangio, do not play zone this time. Try and mix it up. I want to see a little bit more press man coverage. I have yet to see that this season. Throw a wrinkle, and Tucker Kraft is can exploit zone defenses. I don't know what the percentage is, but Tucker Kraft make pardon my French, but Tucker Kraft makes zone defenses his bitch. Literally,
Mhm.
he's that good. That's my concern with him.
Okay. I guess Anna, that question extends to you. So, what concerns you from the Philadelphia offense?
Mhm.
Now that they've been the Packers defense has been really good against the run because of
Mhm.
Edge Cooper and guys like that. They've been good against quarterbacks who scramble and mobile quarterbacks, right? Like
Mhm.
guys like Jalen Hurts, especially a Jalen that's coming off of a rust. He's not
Mhm.
gonna be as polished till
Concussion.
like the second half,
Yeah.
maybe of the game.
Yeah.
And Jalen was playing really well before he went down with the injury. Like I think he
Very
woke
efficient.
up in the
Yeah.
Pittsburgh game, and I was like, we ain't seeing a different Jalen Hurts. We're
Mhm.
seeing that 22 Jalen Hurts in a way, right? Like, and you saw that against the Commanders, like in the first quarter before Frankie Louvu took a cheap shot to the head, right? So with this concussion, like now you're coming back from the concussion, it's just not the same.
Mhm.
So who concerns you the most from the Eagles offense?
Yeah. And I think you hit the nail on the head. Our rush defense has been, this is the first time I can say this in my life as a Packers fan, which you guys don't understand just how much I've said that, and that is our run defense is good, is actually good. Like statistically and film wise, our run defense is good. So I'm not gonna say I don't worry about Saquon. Of course I do. I mean, he's the rushing leader this season for a reason, right? But the player that I'm worried the most is AJ Brown. And the reason why is not because of statistics per se, it's because we're playing without Jair Alexander. So we're going to have to rely on Carrington Valentine, who's a really good and who's actually down the stretch, who's been playing like a top 20 CB in the league. He's
Okay.
been a really good man and zone cover corner. And along with Keyshawn Nixon, we had signed that 3-year contract for him. We had re-signed him to play primarily as a kick returner and like depth corner, but
Hmm.
he's actually taken strides and improved himself as a reliable starting outside corner. And he's actually his talents are when we blitz a lot.
Yeah.
He has a nose for the football, so he is incredible at getting sacks on blitzes and getting TFLs. So that's where his talent is. But Jair is a whole nother beast, right? It's like if you're missing Revis on your defense, you
Right.
miss out the ability to cancel an entire half of the
Right.
field, and that is my big worry. Because if AJ Brown gets going, that is going to be a huge difference maker. I mean, he's a top 5 wide receiver in the league. So if he has a big game, that's going to allow Devontae Smith to have a big game. And if Devontae Smith has a big game, irrespective of sorry, irrespective of whether or not we keep Saquon limited, we lose if AJ Brown and Devontae Smith have big games. So keeping AJ Brown contained is going to be second on the priority of keeping Saquon Barkley limited as well. So
Okay.
that's my answer.
Go ahead, Russia.
And I think but I think like the Packers will definitely have a little bit of an edge here because here's the thing: even with AJ Brown coming like exploiting it probably against Nixon and Valentine,
Hmm.
I think your defensive coordinator may have the ability to say, okay, here's what we might do. We might put one safe. We might try and double team AJ Brown. Hell, I
Mhm.
think a good matchup I could imagine is either putting like dropping Xavier McKinney down. Uh, um,
No, I think it's most likely going to be Evan Williams. If he starts, it's going to be Evan Williams down, and Xavier McKinney is going to go back to his main position as a free ranging safety,
yeah.
because with Evan Williams being down and Zane Anderson being down, that's exactly how the Naylor wide open touchdown happened of 31 yards against the
Gotcha.
Vikings, because Xavier McKinney had to come down. and there was miscommunication, and Javon Bullard became the safety. He was out of position that allowed Jalen Naylor to get wide open. So yeah, so Evan Williams is going to be the guy to come in. Sorry, go ahead.
No, but like no, I mean like that's like what the approach I was like thinking like this is could be something like the Packers could throw a wrinkle
Hmm.
and the thing is with Xavier McKinney, he has Jalen Hurts' number literally. And if you go back to him being a Giants and especially in Alabama, Xavier McKinney, Jalen Hurts, like
Teammates, teammates.
yeah, apparently Hurts likes to throw the ball to McKinney, so you can't let
He
that
did that
happen.
with the Giants. He did that the first game. Like
X gonna
he
take
just
it
have
from
a
you.
way to find him, and and throw him in the game. I don't know why he does that,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, man. So which team do you think has the edge in coaching strategy? So I guess Anand, I'll go to you first, and
Sure.
then Raksha will come to you after that. So I'm talking offensive and defensive. I
Hmm.
know your defensive coordinator, like is a first year guy. Even though he's really good, he's got this defense playing lights out, right, and
Hmm.
stopping the run. And you said this is like one of the first times you guys are really good at stopping the run. Like, so yeah, who do you think has the edge?
Yeah, for me, it's neither coordinators. I don't think it's really a matchup of the coordinators because both matchups are more or less balanced. Like Matt LaFleur versus Vic Fangio, that's a good matchup. And Kellen Moore against Jeff Hafley, that's also going to be a great matchup. I think
Okay.
the coaching strategy is going to be who's going to make the fewer dumb head coaching decisions with respect to clock management, timeouts, fourth down decisions, challenges, etc. Both head coaches, right? I'm talking about as head coaches.
Hmm.
If you were to take them side to side, have the tendency to overthink or underthink critical decisions, right?
Right.
So I think who makes the fewest of these dumb decisions wins the
Hmm.
game.
Okay. Raksha.
Again, Anand said it beautifully. Whoever makes the, I think like to be honest, I'll say this. In terms of like defense versus offense, with Fangio and who's your other coordinator? The
Jeff Hafley,
and Jeff
or for you
Hafley.
guys?
No, your
Oh, sorry.
offensive coordinator.
Yeah, Jeff Hafley. Yeah.
Jeff, I mean, between Jeff Hafley and Fangio, I don't know much about Hafley, but I would lean a little bit more with Fangio now that he's done. Now that he's like he's like really drilled this type of defense, and he has the right personnel to work with. He's like,
Right.
okay, this is what I can actually use. This is
Yeah.
what's the schemes that I can actually use and work with. In terms of offense, in terms of like Kellen Moore versus the Packers DC, I
Hmm.
think it would be a throwaway because I have yet to see the Kellen Moore offensive playbook. Yet I've seen like the Packers defense, like they've had their lapses, but when they're playing to an actual zone coverage, they're damn good. But if in terms of main coaching, don't get me wrong, Eagles fans, I'm gonna give it to Matt LaFleur. Matt LaFleur is more creative and he can coach better. Nick Sirianni can get into his head and go full North Korea mode when the last thing we needed. And I think like
Oh,
and and
we
the
got a
thing is,
comment in the show,
oh,
guys. We
we
got
got
a
a comment.
comment. Ready to
Oh,
clap
Eagles
those
fun.
cheeks.
Okay.
No, but like again, like at least Matt LaFleur is not a North Korean operative like Nick Sirianni. I'm still because I don't trust Nick Sirianni still. Yes, he's been doing pretty well in like maintaining the team morale. Where the hell his position is as a head coach is, but I mean, I trust LaFleur more. That's all I can say.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
gonna be honest, yeah.
All right. Yeah, and I agree with that because you never know what Nick Sirianni's gonna do. Even Eagle fans don't know what Nick Sirianni's gonna do. Even the guys on the sideline don't know what Nick Sirianni's gonna do. Nick Sirianni himself don't know what he's gonna do sometimes. Okay, so that's definitely a problem. And Nick Sirianni, I hate to say this, is 0-2 in the wild card. So the last two times we had wild card games, but we've played Tom Brady and we played another Bucks offense and defense without AJ Brown. So AJ Brown wasn't present in both those games. hopefully AJ makes it to this game. The Eagles are a different team with AJ Brown, and they're a different team without him, right? So with that said, what are the key factors you guys feel like, determining the winning of this matchup?
Yeah, I think for me, it's going to be mistakes. Who makes the fewest mistakes is most likely going to win this game, and that's going to be like from a coaching perspective, from a player perspective. Who makes the fewest turnovers, penalties? Who makes the fewer dumb decisions as a head coach?
Right.
Right. Whoever has the fewest amount of um, what is it like offensive play calling mistakes or defensive play calling mistakes, like any of that scenario, I think that's going to be the key factor, because like I
Mm-hmm.
said, the two teams are more evenly matched than people think, realistically speaking. So yeah, that's for me.
Okay. Rakshak, go ahead.
For me, again, like the same thing with like mistakes, and also I want to say whoever can make who like whichever playmakers can actually rise up. I mean, like yes, the fewest mistakes, but also like who among your best star players can make that play. If let's say fourth down, 4 minutes to go in the game, you have the ball. What's the play call? Like first question one, what's the play calling, the play scheme that you're gonna go with that'll give your team the best chance to win? Or and then second of all, which person can you rely to not screw it up?
Hmm.
And I think that this is where the big stars, the playmakers, and also which coach do you trust even more to make even such a decision?
Right.
That which is another big thing. My that my takes.
Okay. Okay. So I guess this question goes out to Anna. The next one is, how do you think the Packer offense can replicate or improve on their 29 point from last first time they met, right? Performance to the season opener, right? So basically, last time y'all scored 29 points. Ever since then, after we got Cooper DeJean, right? And our defensive got better after the Tampa Bay game, and we have allowed less than, I think, 19 points. I think the last
Hmm.
time we allowed
Yeah.
more points was against the Washington Commanders. We gave up five
Mhm.
touchdowns, right?
Yeah.
But other than, if you take that game away, basically the Eagles have like held the offenses to single digits, or just like 10 points or 13 points. So how do you guys get back to that 29 point performance? You know,
Yeah.
long-winded question, but yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, so I think you hit the nail on the head, actually. I don't think this offense is going to get to 20. I don't think neither offense is going to get to 29 points. I think
Okay.
it's going to be fewer than 25 points. It might be like a 24-21 type of game, because I think teams are going to make mistakes. Like defenses are going to force mistakes on both sides.
Right.
And I think it's going to be fewer than 25 points on offense for us, but you never know, because I thought the same exact thing when we played the Vikings, who have as good, if not a better pass defense, or as good of a defense as you guys, like the second or third best pass defense in the entire league,
Right.
and we hung 25 and 29 points on them.
Yeah.
So I think we're definitely capable
Mm-hmm.
of scoring a lot of points. It's just the way that that's going to happen has to start with making less mistakes. Mistakes, mistakes, mistakes
Right.
is the story of our season, really.
Right.
Right? And this is the second youngest team to ever make the playoffs. And the
Oh, wow.
youngest team was last year's Packers, right?
Okay.
So it's like these kids, these are literal kids. These guys are really, really young. They don't
Right.
have a lot of playoff experience.
Yep.
So when it comes to clutch situations, it's really about who has the best mental fortitude.
Mm-hmm.
And clutch situations involve, like, not making turnovers, all of that stuff. So limiting mistakes is going to be the key thing. And turnovers, that starts with number one. That we've had in critical games, we've had turnover mistakes. Where
Okay.
early on that's Jordan Love, later on it's fumbling. Ball security is going to be paramount against especially against this Eagles back seven, because like you said, it's a very formidable back seven, right? It's nothing to scoff at. It's the number one defense in the league for a reason.
Right.
So ball security being paramount is the most important thing. It's the number one thing, especially from Jordan Love. I want him to have his aggressive mentality because, unfortunately, based on what we've seen for the past couple of weeks, he's been efficient, but he hasn't been the gunslinger Love that we've had in the past couple of weeks that we had in the Eagles' first matchup,
Right.
right? So,
Right.
aggressive mentality, but not too much. It's going to be very hard to find that in your um, in your a second year starting quarterback. That's
Mhm.
basically what Jordan Love is. So I'd expect probably one interception,
Okay.
but limiting
Wow,
turnovers.
one interception, huh? You already giving us that? Okay.
Look, I'm playing realistically. I think both quarterbacks are going to throw an interception because both defenses are capable of generating interceptions.
Okay.
So I think both quarterbacks are going to throw one interception. Um, Penalties. This has been a drive killer for us a lot. And
Penalties on which
sadly,
side of the ball? Is it offense or defense?
offense. And
Okay.
I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of it are two pre-snap penalties. Offensive holding and false starts accounts for 37% of all penalties on the Packers offense this on the Packers this season.
Right.
And we're 11th in offensive holding penalties called against us and 23rd in false starts. So
Oh wow. Okay.
penalties in critical situations are drive killers, especially in the second half. Because what Matt Lafleur loves to do and how we
Mhm.
get to fast starts is when we win the coin toss, we get the ball right.
Right.
The what is it? The pervading mentality is if you win the coin toss, you defer right, so that you get the ball in the second half. But Matt Lafleur does not do that. He's a guy who wants to get the ball first and yeah, I saw that comment. We'll see, buddy. We'll see.
Eagles talk,
Jalen
baby.
Hurts might not speak a couple words after this when T.J. Slayton rubs his ass all over Jalen Hurts' head. So
Ananth.
We got
so
another one. We got another one too. 17.1. Okay.
I don't know what he's referencing.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Joshua Gray,
Like,
Fly Eagles Fly,
So
and then Quinion Mitchell.
oh,
yeah.
Okay, I
So
like that. I like that. I
if
can see
if
that.
Quinton Mitchell didn't have bricks for hands, he already would have had first.
Woo-hoo-hoo! Okay, hot take, hot take. Okay.
No, I mean, hey, he had multiple opportunities. But anyways, going back, and this is something that Matt LaFleur kind of gets his head into is inconsistent play calling.
Okay.
It's just like several drives. It's the play calling stalls. Like it leads to stalls drives, and you guys have experiences that as well.
Right.
Especially before that Steelers game, you guys were winning games like 22-16 to no nothing teams, right? So um, okay, 17 points. That's fine. So yeah, just leading to stall drives is what might hurt us. So limiting that, having more consistent play calling, and wasting challenges. That's been I don't know what's going on with Matt LaFleur this season, but he's like 2 out of 8 or something like that in terms of challenges. He
Okay.
won his first one on an obvious catch by Tucker Kraft
Right.
last game,
Okay.
or one of his first ones in the past couple of weeks. So that's going to be key. Now, what I will say in terms of how to improve is going to be diversify our running attack. So
Hmm.
unlike you guys, we have almost right now a two-pronged run attack. Josh Jacobs
Right.
and Emmanuel Wilson. I gotta give him credit. He's
Right.
an excellent RB2 option.
Hmm.
He's 14th in the league in terms of yards per carry on the season, which
Yep.
is actually more than Josh Jacobs, Aaron Jones, Chuba Hubbard, Devon Achane, Jonathan Taylor, and all those other backs. So expect him
Wow.
to get
Okay.
a lot more snaps after the first drive.
Okay.
which is going to be all Josh Jacobs at that point,
Right.
and more close to like the end of the first half and through the second half. So more in terms of in relief for Josh Jacobs,
Okay.
especially if we start scoring.
Right.
Like that's when Emmanuel Wilson's going to come in. Now, mind you, we did run for 163 yards on your defense. Not saying that your
Right.
defense has, it's not the same defense. It has improved, but
Yeah.
we still against Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, we ran for 163 yards. You guys couldn't even pass muster that. You guys had 144 yards against T.J. Slayton and Kenny Clark. So
Okay. Okay.
Joshua Grider, I see you, bro. You say week one, but Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis is still the middle of your defense right now. They're still the starting defensive tackles. So they're the people that we have to go against both week one and now. And we racked up 163 rush yards on y'all. You can't say teams are different when you say the same players, bro. Come on now. Come on now.
Okay.
Be
Okay.
consistent.
Oh, Pete,
I think the Eagles fans are
We
getting
had
on
a
your
brand
nerves a
new
little bit.
defensive coordinator. Same thing for us.
Pete, I think I'm gonna just relax
But yeah,
right now.
Okay. You know what? I'm
I'm
gonna.
good with
Yeah.
mine.
What? Yeah. Just go ahead and finish, and then and I rock shot. I got the same
Oh
question
no
for you
no
too.
no no no! I'm perfectly fine where I'm at.
Okay.
Let Josh do your thing. Keep on
Yeah. Yeah.
questioning.
Go ahead. Go ahead, man.
No, yeah. So end of the day, I think the way that we can improve is to limit mistakes, diversify our run game, which we have been recently,
Okay.
and we also did that in week one.
Right.
Limiting turnovers, limiting
Hmm.
penalties.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I don't think we can. Neither team's going to reach 29 points this game.
Okay. Now that's a fair point. I think that's a fair point. Plus, we got to take the field into factor. You know, who knows
Yeah,
how many guys are slipping, and how many injuries that might pile up. God, I hope it's not Saquon Barkley or AJ Brown or anybody on your side of the team, because we don't want to beat y'all because y'all got injuries, right? We want to beat y'all just because we beat y'all, right? With
hmm
that said, Ruckshot, do you see a 29-point performance by the Packers, or
Or
do you
that
see them
34.
even scoring more on us?
That I think again, it's going to be a very very close matchup. I actually have a prediction. It may be 24-21 or 24-20. It could go either way because again, defenses are much better since week one. Philly Flyover, we've
I
got
agree with
very.
that. Right.
Y'all got okay. I like you,
Let's read this comment right here. Eagle stock, baby. Okay.
bro.
Green Bay needs to
Can I?
quick start if you want to be in the game later. Eagle sows like a locomotive train. Takes time to get rolling. Eventually becomes unstoppable. No lead. It's over. Okay. And
Yeah,
it's
okay.
always the other one, Joshua Gritter. Who's been on your
I
butt a
agree
little
with you.
bit.
I agree
I
with you,
always
John.
say this though, any given Sunday, which is very true.
I'm sure the Cowboys last year thought the same thing. No name Packers, young squad
Oh
coming in,
no.
7th seed
Oh,
at
we're not
home.
taking y'all lightly.
I know, I
Don't
know.
get us don't get us twisted. We know you guys are the
Yeah,
Packers. We're not
a
taking
lot of
y'all
Eagles
lightly.
fans on Twitter have been saying the
Right.
opposite.
I mean,
But
there's a bunch of Eagle fans.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can't speak for all of them. So just
You,
yeah,
we can't. Yeah, we're at least P and I are not one of those Eagles fans. We're like
right.
saying, hey, keep an eye on them so we
Yep.
can properly put belt to ass. Hopefully, but probably not. This is not a belt to ass game, guys. This is a spoiler. But back to the question regarding seeing like if the Packers can put up a 29 points or the Eagles can do that. Again, it's not going to be the case because defenses have already been better. Like again, Eagles for some odd reason, for some miracle done by Vic Fangio, number one pass defense. That's been a shock for me because and with the and a great revelation in the linebacking core, especially with Zach Bond and Nakobe Dean, um, and the way how Vic Fangio has orchestrated this scheme perfectly. 17.1 points, like from one of our from our commenters has mentioned. That has been impressive since the bye week. But like also I would also agree with the Packers. Yes, they may have gone to close contests, like especially in the first half, first quarter, second quarter. I mean, when you talk about games against like the Vikings, and the Lions, and especially those NFC North teams. But when it comes to matter the most, okay,
We ain't Dak Prescott. Hey, that's
all right,
true.
we can agree with one thing, but
Yeah.
excuse me. Um, I will say, but I will say this: like this Packers team should not be underestimated at all. Remember, they are one of the best run deep since that game. They've been one of
Right.
the best run defenses.
Right. You got to take
Hell,
them seriously, guys. You
they
got to
held
take
up
them
Sonic
seriously.
and Knuckles for a lot of time. And
Yes.
speaking of Sonic and Knuckles, they have that. We got Shadow the freaking Hedgehog, by the way.
Right. Right.
Um, and then also I would have and again like the scheming is going to be completely different because Matt LaFleur says, hey, we know what mistakes that we've done before. I got a couple more tricks up my sleeve, and I can and Vic Fangio better find a way to game plan this properly. Hell,
Yeah.
I say go press man coverage. I am banging on the table for that.
Mhm.
Show a little bit more blitz,
Hmm.
and I'll say one matchup that is not going to go well for the Eagles side. Spoiler: it's not gonna the Eagles edges aren't going to hit home because Jordan Love is best when he's evading sacks. I was overhearing that from Eagles Pinpool. I think Shane Half or I think it was like Shane Half or like someone from Locked On Eagles, Gino Camilleri or Louis DiBiase. He mentioned that like when Jordan Love is escaping sacks, his EPA per play like goes up high. I don't know what the number is, but he's one of the best ones. That is why the Eagles interior has to attack, and I think like this time they could do a better job attacking. And I think like this is where the Packers a little bit of the weakness when the Eagles can show that pressure blitz attacks it. Philly flyover. Christian Watson, Jair Alexander, Love injured, and Philly's field better than the soccer field. They okay.
We don't know if it's going to be better because you
We
guys
don't
just
know.
changed the
We
field.
don't know. That's the
I
thing.
Yeah,
mean,
We
I
don't know.
love guys. I love the enthusiasm, but pipe it down for a bit, please. Ah,
And then one
I.
more. So I would normally say this, but I actually believe that
Oh
this
my
has to
lord.
be Jalen Hurts, 3 touchdowns, Commanders, first quarter, Tennessee game win. Kenny Pickett lost that. Okay, so
Just please move on. I don't want to be involved in any crunchy beer takes. That's all. Please.
okay, so like with that said, I know Anand got to go soon. So I'm gonna ask for score predictions. So Anand, give us your score predictions for this game. What are your score predictions? And then we'll go to Russia.
alrighty. I got to pick my Packers, right? Yeah, I would not be a realistic fan if I didn't pick my team.
Yeah, of
Though
course.
I will say, like, if I'm an unbiased fan, I'm going to say Eagles 26, Packers 24. If I'm an unbiased fan.
Right.
But since I'm a biased fan, I'm going to say 26, 21. Nah, I'll say 24, 21 Packers.
24-21. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Um, and then who is your offensive MVP if the Packers do win?
If we win, Tucker Craft. Because
Okay.
I'm going to say this Kraft, Yak, and Cheese. He's going to sweep it. He's going to earn so much in terms of yardage against Zach Bond and
Mhm.
CJ and all those guys that you guys have in the backfield. But realistically speaking, I think if we're going to win this game, Tucker Craft is going to have um, an exceptional playoff like performance.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Thank you. So, Rakshak, what is your prediction?
I have to be the ring. I have to be the voice of truth right here. Anand, you got to work on that for sure. But I will say I'm good. I mean, I'm confident the Eagles will pull off a win, but it's going to be 24-21.
Mhm.
And we better pray that Jake Elliott makes a field goal. And I think this is going to be because I think with Jalen Hurts coming back,
Hmm.
giving much giving the ability like, hey, I could still run the ball, and and the Eagles having one of the best offensive lines, and of course we got Saquon, we got Soul Batman, we have a numerous amount of talented guys on the offensive
Right.
side,
Yeah.
and we can rely on one of them to make one of them to make the play, and on the
Okay.
defense it has improved hell of a lot under Vic Fangio with the rooks in Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, under a vet like Darius Slay, and the safeties can tackle better. And I'm going to put a prop. If I had a prop up bet, we're gonna expect a Reed Blankenship pick. Just like the same Reed Blankenship, who did you know he's the only undrafted free agent safety to ever intercept Aaron Rodgers. And he was the same guy that also picked you off too in the game. So I could expect both quarterbacks throw turnovers,
Okay.
which
Yeah.
is probably going to
I
happen
can see
because
that.
defense is going
Yep.
to because defense is good. Defense is good. We're going to be seeing a defensive showcase, but
Right.
it's going to come back to it. So I think the Eagles win it 24-21. Jake Elliott field goal winner.
Okay. So who's your offensive MVP for this game for the Eagles?
Offensive MVP. If he's saying Tucker Kraft, I got to go with Dallas Goddard. This could be a Dallas Goddard game because the Packers secondary is slightly weak, especially in the middle of the field.
Mm-hmm.
And last time the Eagles did not do that. And I want to see more of that. And which is why we've been bang the table. More
Right.
meshes, caught from mesh, crossers, slants, anything that is an audible in the Madden playbook, which involves middle of the field, attack that shit.
Okay.
And Dallas Goddard is your best target for that. Yes, Calcaterra's done pretty good, but Goddard, when he's healthy, he can do
It's the
shit.
guy. Who's your defensive MVP?
Woo! I think it's going to be Jordan Love's nightmare, Jalen Carter. I think he has to be the guy. He is. I mean, if Jalen Carter is able to get through those double teams, get enough pressures,
Mm-hmm.
force Jordan Love to make such mistakes.
Yeah.
I think this is where the Eagles' defense will definitely prevail.
Okay. All right. And so I'm gonna give my prediction, right? So I think the Eagles win this game 25-22. The MVP, it would come down to a Jake Elliott field goal, and I hope he would make it to give us that lead and win the game. Um, but I would say Saquon Barkley would be my offensive MVP, not rushing, but he would have two passing touchdowns in this game,
Passing
right?
or receiving?
So I mean, receiving.
Oh,
So he would have two receiving touchdowns
yeah.
in this game, and AJ will have one touchdown. And I think
Oh,
what?
but you gotta read through some of the comments, man.
No, we'll get to the comments. We'll get to the comments, right? My defensive player basically is gonna be CJ Gardner Johnson. I see him I see him picking up Jordan Love. When it matters the most. So with that said, Anand, if you gotta go, I'll put you on here, brother. Like, just let us know where we can find you, and then you're free to leave, and then we'll get to the comments section because these guys are crazy.
Yeah, I've just been seeing it on the side. Yeah, thank you so much again, Pete, for
Yeah.
having me on the show and having NFL Masala on the show as a repeat guest from Rucksack side. Very excited to be here. And if you guys want to follow us on NFL Masala, you can hit us on all of our social media links at NFL Masala 2022 or NFL MASALA 2022. We're also on YouTube, so like, share, and subscribe for our content. If you guys want to hear Rakshak more, listen to him more. If you want to, blast me in the comments, please do. I'll take any popularity whatsoever. I don't care if we're getting blasted in the comments. It's gonna make our channel more popular. So please
Right.
do. Please come at us. So yeah, you guys could follow us. Search NFL Masala on YouTube. So yeah.
And Alan, we really appreciate you coming on the podcast today and letting us know about the Packers. And that's not a team that the Eagles can just take lightly. So we're not taking the Packers lightly. With that said, um, we're gonna get to the comment section, y'all. So yeah, let's go.
Good seeing you,
Where do we
brother.
start?
Thank you.
So Joshua Grid has been saying 2017 different.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, is it the 2017 type of team? I don't think so.
I don't think
But
so.
it's pretty
Yeah,
close to it, somewhat.
we got our own
You
vibe.
don't have to be that team to go ahead and advance to the next playoff game and get to the Super Bowl and whatnot. So, but they're similar. They're better than the 22 team. I'll tell you that. This team
Oh,
is a lot
100%.
better
Yeah.
than the 22 team. So the next comment we got Felix takes care of the link. Uh,
Yeah,
not saying blowout feel quality matters. Right.
that's true.
So Joshua Good will give his score predictions 34-13.
Whoa,
Okay.
confident.
34-13. Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
okay. Hey, I like it. We'll all be happy. If the Packers win, MVP will be Jaden Reed.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that happening if the
Okay.
Eagles can do not adjust to their to their coverage schemes, or like they don't
Right.
figure out like what the hell they're doing on offense. Yeah.
Yeah. Only way we lose is Josh Jacobs, says
Yeah, that could
Philly
possibly happen.
Flyover.
If they're
Okay.
unable to stop the run, this could happen.
Right. 27-17 from Eagles Talk Baby. So, fourth quarter, final 12 minutes of the game.
The long
Okay.
drives.
Joshua Gritter again. Uh, People are saying Eagles could lose. So Jake Elliott, they are the same people who don't know Jake Elliott is kicking 100% in the playoffs all the time. But this year's Jake Elliott is a little different, Josh. So, we'll see. Hopefully that is the case, and I'm hoping
Yeah.
that is the case. But,
Mhm.
time will tell, right? So
Yeah.
Sunday we'll find out. So gotta ask, how the fuck they get
You're
25
you're
points?
25-22. That's your 25-22 prediction. I said 24-21, y'all.
Yeah. Well, I said 22. So, I mean, they could get that. They could get that. So clap those cheeks again. Enjoy your off season, Packers.
Oh yeah.
Anand has left the building, so
Yeah.
better defense than 2017, which I agree. But it is not the same coaching. It is not the same caliber of backup players. It's not the same team. It's not. The 2017 was it's a team for the record books. It's a team for a movie, right?
Yeah.
Don't forget Shady in the suit.
In the snowball, of
The
course, Steve
snowball,
McCoy
yeah.
is gonna be at this game, so I'm looking forward to that.
Is Shady gonna be in the game?
Shady's gonna be at the game along with
Oh yeah,
James
okay.
Jones. Yeah.
So next one, Philly flyover. Go ahead, Druckshop.
The Packers hiding if Love can throw because of injury. Can't sleep on them, but it's not going to be that close. Maybe two possession game at the end of the third quarter. It could happen, but then again, like injuries are just injuries. We have to see what's on the field and how that affects us.
Right.
Josh Greider, yeah, dude, and yeah,
Not
agree,
the
not the
same
same
team.
team.
Yeah, that's
30,
true.
Philly fly over 34-25, 9-point game. Okay, I see that. And then I think Josh Greider says he wants a breakdown of those 25 points.
Well, I can see Josh Jacobs scoring a touchdown. I can see Jaden Reed getting in there somehow. Like, sometimes our defense has a tendency to play really soft.
Oh
They'll
yeah.
play really hard and then they'll play really soft, like we saw against the Commanders. So stuff
Oh,
like that can
Dawkins gonna
happen.
be there too. I,
Dawkins, hey, guess what I'm wearing right now?
oh, you were Docs. Hey, I got the
Weapon
jersey
X.
too. Weapons X, X gonna
Weapons
give it
X.
to you, the original one, baby.
Weapon X, man. So,
Brian Dawkins is the reason why I became an Eagles fan to begin with.
for us. So with that said, man, thank you guys for joining the podcast. Ruckshock, the next one's gonna be hopefully the divisional playoff next week. That's what we're shooting for, and we're not just making a podcast for with other teams. We're actually talking about Eagles. That's my goal.
Yeah.
With that said, let them know where they can find you guys.
Again, like you can find the NFL Masala podcast on the following platforms: Google, Spotify, iTunes, Pocket Casts, and yes, YouTube Season 3. So make sure you like, share, subscribe. And of course, we're all are on social media: Twitter/X, Instagram, and Threads. Yes, we have a Threads account. All at NFLMASALA2022. All underscore at NFLMASALA2022.
All right, thank you. And you can find the Pete Nathan podcast right here on YouTube. You can also find me on Twitter and hit me up on Instagram if you have any questions. I'm there at Pete86Nathan. Hit me up there. And I just want to thank you guys for coming in and chatting with us and talking shit. And this is all it's about, man. This is about being Eagle fans. So with that said, we all we got.
We all we need.
Fly,
Fly,
Eagles,
Eagles
fly.
fly. Let's go, birds.